So, as I said there in the last video of the backstory of the piece of writing Jaybird, and it was the backstory of paragraph 1. This is the backstory for paragraph 2. And like I said, essentially, overall, the piece of writing, because there's 6 paragraphs in it, is about the attachments that we develop or delusionals towards people that we don't actually know. So it's essentially about that, but obviously, it depicts a bigger picture of how that can affect somebody. And obviously it's my writing, so it's kind of the backstory of how it affects me, but I do feel like it will resonate with a lot of people anyway. I'm going to read paragraph 2, and then I will go into a bit the backstory of what it's about, because it's similar but different at the same time as paragraph 1. So here it goes. A little over a year later, and a deep-breathed smile has me back in wonderment. It's different from before, somehow a peaceful grin, hitting with the same resonance as before, and at completely different points too. The irony hasn't gone unnoticed. I can't go back there again. Keeping myself in check is a much better decision than checking out. I feel well wishes this time, but I am reminded how nonsensical this all is, especially when I recall so clearly jumping off the merry-go-round of you. Maybe I didn't hit the ground hard enough last time, or somehow when I ran and ignored, I should have been walking and dealing. A trail to listen to, even when my attention needs to be elsewhere. So that's that paragraph 2. Again, similar to paragraph 1, it was about a year and a half ago, I think, roughly, a bit more, a bit less, whatever. Again, it was somebody's music that I'd come across, and a completely different stage in my life, because when I came across this person's music, I wasn't doing very well at all. I really wasn't doing well. And it resonated with me on so many levels, because it just, not only did it blow me away, but it gave me something that kind of ignited that spark again to feel better. So it's like the first song I'd come across, and it wasn't the first song that they'd brought out. It was just what happened to just pop up at the time. And yeah, for about, I'd say, 3 months of like listening to various music that brought out, various content, whatever, adverts, etc. I kind of rode back into normalcy, inverted commas, of whatever is normal. And I started to feel like I was getting a piece of myself back, and it gave me hope. However, after that 3 months, it plunged me into a deep sadness. There was no reasoning. This person hadn't done anything or said anything personally to me. It just, one day I'd put their music on and I felt grief. And it was really scary. There was no delusions there, like within paragraph 1. That was the difference. There was no delusions. I couldn't understand that how in less than 24 hours there was just like someone had clicked the fingers and said that they're going to change the meaning. I mean, the meanings were still there. Like I say, there was no delusions. And I fought it for about 2 months. I kind of pulled my energy back a little bit. Was like, I won't listen to as much. I won't watch as much. Yada, yada, yada. It helped a bit, but it just plunged me even darker. So I had to completely pull my energy back. So it was not listening to it at all, not watch any adverts, unsubscribed from whatever platforms this person was putting their music onto. And it took a good 3 months of doing that for this sadness to subside, and it didn't happen overnight. It was trickles, like bit by bit by bit, and it was doing other stuff that I love, listening to other music, and just pushing it to the back of my mind. And it was more frustrating than it was like wanting to just sit down and not do anything. Like, there was no delusions there was no like attachment in the sense of, a super attachment. It was just, I had to deal with this sadness because, it just felt like it was just ripping a part of me away. And there was no reason, like, unlike paragraph one, where there's all the delusional thoughts, there's all the delusional stories that my mind made up. This was just, every time I saw this person's face, heard the voice, whatever, instantly I felt grief on a level where you would get it if someone you know had been hurt. So it was really crazy. But yeah, I pulled it back. That was initially, and how like paragraph 2 starts a year later. Like, yeah, it's year and a half later, and I've come across the music again, new music, and it's different. I'm not that like, oh, it's giving me hope, it's giving me that new spark, I need to listen to all of it, I need to subscribe to all of it. It's just that kind of, I'm able to, have well wishes for this person, like, and just smile and dance along to their music again, and then not listen to it for a few weeks, how it was supposed to be originally. So it's like a journey of how different that paragraph 2 would have been if I'd have wrote it that year and a half ago. It would have been completely different. Also, as a side note, within paragraph 2, where it mentions about, stepping off the merry-go-round of them, that's a separate piece of writing that I did write at the time. So once I've done the backstory of Jaybird, I will probably put that piece of writing up and do a backstory for that and juxtaposition it, because I'd wrote that piece of writing as I was in it and coming out of it at the time. So I'd probably do a backstory of maybe them two together. But yeah, this is the backstory of paragraph 2, and it's really crazy to me how different paragraph 1 and 2 are, even though the essential theme is the attachments that we develop towards certain people. It's crazy to me how they've manifested in two completely different ways, even though the career paths that these two people have chosen to go on are pretty similar. So and I wanted to give a backstory as well, because I think, it's downplayed. It's, people will really judge it. It's like, why are you getting attached to that person? You don't know that person. Yes, I know that. And I knew it more, even though I suffered more than paragraph 2 than I did with paragraph 1. However, it's the fact that when you feel something, you do not need logic. I didn't need logic to tell me how I felt, because feelings defy logic. But yeah, that's the backstory of paragraph 2. There's one more paragraph I wanted to pull from Jaybird, which will be paragraph 4, but that'll be on a separate video. So yeah, hopefully that gives a deeper meaning and kind of a behind the scenes look at the writing process, because as I say, writing a piece of writing and how it comes out eventually is completely different. And I'm looking forward to kind of putting alongside this paragraph 2 with that piece of writing, the merry-go-round piece of writing, just to kind of see how they resonate at different points, but about the same person. So yeah, that's the backstory on that one.